Hi, I'm Abigail Clow. Today I'm speaking with Jamie Neelan about premium support services, what this means, and to get some examples on how it can help our clients in getting the maximum benefit from EPU's labs. Hi, Jamie. Can you please tell me what is premium support services?
Yes, sure thing. So I'm Jamie Neelan and I run the services team for EPU's Labs in Europe. And premium support services is something we came up with after several years of having customers come to us about how to use our products better, and sometimes at very short notice. And we needed a contractual structure would offer them specialist support, but with very short turnaround timescales for them and no need to go back to their procurement department.
And how do you find that our clients are currently using these days?
So it's normally around using the software that we develop better. We're a services company now, but one that's underpinned entirely by the software that we develop for SAP. And customers usually want our help to retrain their teams or optimize how data sync manager's running, maybe use Query Manager to develop new reports for HCM data or integrate it with SuccessFactors. Or sometimes they just come to us for technical and data related jobs they want done. So it might be basis support. We put in secure network communications for customers. We've done optimizations of people's basis landscape to make sure the systems are running quickly. And sometimes we run a workshop. We provide two kinds of advisory services for customers, both a SLO advisory service for people that are going to want to optimize their landscape or have a deal going on in the mergers and acquisitions space. We also offer data privacy assessments.
And if people don't use their days, will they lose them?
So the way it works is they buy a certain number of days to use over a 12-month period, but 50% of those days can lapse into a second 2-month period. So you essentially buy a certain amount of our expertise to use over 2 years, and you buy them in blocks of days, but we only use them hourly. So it's a very flexible way compared to, say, a specialist contract that you might bring in for a strong period of time with days all in a row. You can call on our expertise at any time over those 2 years and with those contractual stipulations in place.
So we have quite a diverse portfolio of products and services. For example, in the SAP HCM portfolio, we have products such as Query Manager, Document Builder, and Variance Monitor. How do companies use PSS in this context?
So normally with Query Manager, it's for advanced reports writing. Quite often the simpler reports the customers can all do themselves. But if they've got a very complex report, for example, in the school system recently, there's been a lot of academies reporting back balances. Sometimes that needs a user exit to be plugged into Query Manager. So it might be an advanced usage of the software or some custom ABAP written by people whose career is focused on doing that kind of work specifically for an SAP system. In Variance Monitor, it's a simpler tool. It's basically comparing payroll variances when people put support packs in or make a change in the environment. But it can also take server files. So, for example, you might compare a Workday system to an SAP system. And again, if you're getting in that kind of advanced usage space, you can call our consultants to help you do it and to train your teams to carry that onwards.
And in the landscape management and data privacy portfolios, how are these different from the HCM?
So in data privacy, we cover all of the SAP type systems. So all of the ABAP systems, essentially. An ECC or a CRM system, you might have a banking or utilities system. In any of those systems, we have people who daily go out and consult businesses about how to scramble non-production data in those environments using our software. Sometimes it's to do with cleaning up historical and legacy data in the environment, production and non-production. And sometimes it's about how do we become compliant with the local data privacy laws, and they want a SAP specialist to come in, especially if their data protection officer has general rules they want the business to follow, but doesn't understand the SAP data model. And that's essentially what we do. EPU's Labs exists as a separate business in our group, essentially because of the IP we've developed mapping all of the SAP data models.
Can PSS days be used to support the projects a business may run?
Yes, for some project types, definitely. And people commonly don't realize that our core software, for example, Data Sync Manager, can actually be used both to support migration projects and conversion projects, like a conversion to S4HANA or BW for HANA. And the reason this is particularly interesting is because if you start the project planning with Data Sync Manager as part of the strategy, you can build a leaner and more secure landscape. We would always espouse designing a target landscape in a migration or a conversion project that has significantly less data footprint on day one, and with all the data scrambled in the non-production environments, so that they can look at some form of return on investment in that project, as well as in the software.
What are the benefits of buying PSS from Epiuse Labs?
I'd say it's mostly around assurance. So people invest quite a lot of money in our software, and they want it to do something that brings a high business value to them, commonly in reducing the platform costs of running SAP, or ensuring they are following regulations for data privacy, or working with HR data and reporting on that. And if they're going to realize the value from software and not just complete a technical box checking exercise, deploying that software into their estate and then not using it to reap that value, then they need the ongoing expertise to be available. So buying the PSS days means that you have a limited expenditure, but you've got expertise in consultancy in the region on tap. And you always have support. We have a client-centric portal to support software problems or questions. But when you want to optimize your environment or make advanced usage of the tool, or perform more training of your employees at the last minute, even just put assurance around a really critical exercise that has to complete before a business change window, it means you can call us up. You already have the days in place, and we'll be able to help you at short notice.
How do people go about getting started with PSS?
They should just contact their account executive, and they'll be able to talk it through, or speak to you, Abby, of course. And it's an interesting space for us. Epiuse Labs has changed from being a software company to being really a cloud and managed services company underpinned by software. So everything we do has a software underneath it, but we also host and run SAP environments. We're part of a group that does that both on SAP paper and on our own paper. And this can be a step towards looking at us potentially as a cloud and managed services partner option as well.
Great, thanks Jamie for sharing more information about PSS. Please let Epiuse Labs know if you have any questions. Thank you.